One of the hardest things to do is just to make a decision when it comes to decorating. I am not a professional, and like you, I probably think about certain things way longer than I should before I do them. So today I just wanted to walk through my thought process behind this new makeover that I have done within my living room, and just share some things that I kind of had to work through to be able to get to this point. And hopefully you will find this inspiring, especially if this is something you struggle with too. Welcome back, ladies, and welcome to the Cottage Makeover. Today we are going to be discussing my living room. I have two other spaces that I'm going to be sharing with you in this series, and I just really am so pleased with the way that this turned out. I could not wait to share this with you. I actually shared a sneak peek of it over on Patreon this past week, and some things have even changed since then. So let's start with the most obvious thing, which would be the walls. This has been something that I have been working on since last month. Well, actually the weekend of Mother's Day. So I had been going through a dress a day in May, and whenever I'm working on a project like that or trying to create, sometimes I need to shift my focus so that I can just think about something else, or usually that's when I get some of my best ideas and I have to run with them. And so it was like between each video, I was doing something drastic to my home. With this last year of being in my 30s, I just kind of feel like I need to stop dreaming of certain things and just start executing and start doing these things that I've always had on my mind to do, but maybe I was a little too afraid to. We can get stuck in analysis paralysis when it comes to just about anything within our home. I would say that social media has made this even more difficult than it was maybe for generations before, because it's like you are bombarded by so many different choices, so many different possibilities, and you struggle with feeling as if you need to make the right decision because if not, then other people won't like your home, or it's not going to be something that, you know, somebody will want to buy, or whatever the case may be, whatever is holding you back. I hope that today's video can really inspire you just to make your space beautiful, to make your space pretty. This is something that so many of us have gotten so far away from. And our space does so much for our soul. I know that it does for me. And I know that when I stop worrying about what other people are going to think about something, that it just changes the overall outcome. And one of the things I realized even after I made the decision to paint this space, okay, was then all of a sudden I started looking up different things and feeling discontent with my own choice. So that could be a problem. When you are going to be decorating a space, I definitely think that it's good to look up things for inspiration, to kind of decide what your style may be, what kind of things you are drawn to. But then you have to be willing to step away from that. That's what I've noticed for myself. I had to be willing to step away from all of the different ideas and everything once I made up my mind. I made up my mind. I needed to be content with that, sit with it for a time. And that's the other thing. When it comes to paint colors, it's like, it's just paint. Well, paint costs money, of course. Make sure that it's within your budget. But it's not like it's something that you can't change later on. This year's paint colors may be completely different next year. You might want to change this or change that after you sit with it for a little while. And that's okay. And often we will have leftover paint of sorts. We can even change that paint color. That's something that I did along the way. And I've made so many changes even within this process of doing this. I've made decisions on things that I thought I would never have anything like this in my home. But I've just been really pleased with the way that things have turned out. I got inspiration and then I ran with it. So let me talk you through just some decisions that I've made within this space. And that's not to say that maybe in a few months I might change my mind. You know, I am one for changing my mind. And what I have really loved and what I'm constantly drawn to, I see, is pattern, print. And I love monochromatic print. I just like, either a white background with all color of the same color, or that color with the white print. So I knew that with this really blank wall that I had, that I have struggled with decorating for years now, whether that was in this space or the other space, but it was wherever my living room was, which recently I flip-flopped my dining room and my living room. So now my living room is once again off of the kitchen and in front of the fireplace. So I've just always struggled with wherever the living room is, I didn't know what to put on the wall. And I've tried floating shelves, that looked a little weird. I've tried some artwork here and there, but I always struggle with artwork. And, I struggle with artwork so much that, I really don't have much on the walls, or I can only do a little bit for a certain amount of time, and then I change things out. And by the way, this whole chinoiserie, the mural that I had my daughter Kira paint for me. She is an amazing artist. And one day I just said, I want you to paint some chinoiserie on the wall. Just do it. Just go to town. This is kind of the idea that I have. And then the rest was in her hands. So I have been so pleased with this. I have gotten so much joy just out of sitting on my sofa and looking at her beautiful artwork every single morning since she's done this. And I've also been having her add to it. And, there are places where I feel like, oh, it needs a little more here, a little more there. But I have just enjoyed it so much. It's beautiful to me and I just love it. So I've just known over time, I've really been drawn to that. So I wanted something like that, but I didn't want to pay top dollar to have, you know, a mural sent to me, or, you know, just the wallpaper that you can get. And I have an artist, a live-in artist, so I just thought, why not ask her to do it? I also feel this is something that I could have done as well, but I really feel that she was so good at making things look different here and there and just sporadic. And so that was something I was so happy just to hand over to her. But I've really gotten a lot of joy out of just letting go of that idea that things had to be perfect, that I would have to sit with it for so long, or just, that's one of the things that keeps us from decorating the way that we want to and from trying different things. So I do like to be on the safe side about colors, I would say. I try to go more for monochromatic. That's just me because it's more soothing to my eye. So I really am drawn to that. So the colors that I went with in here were greens and blues. And I kind of felt like I needed that to be the base on the walls. I needed something that had some blue in it, but I did want to go more for the green. I've tried some blue in the kitchen before and it was just a little too light blue. It's like I don't get the blue right or something. But anyway, I'm so pleased with this color, which I do not know off the top of my head what this color is. If I figure it out, I will put it down here. But this color went so well with that yellow undertone that would be in the dining room, all that furniture, the gold that I love to have with my mirrors. And so I just thought that this would be perfect. And it really has been. And my inspiration piece for the color was the piece of art that I have hanging in the kitchen. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you what this whole, you know, makeover looks like, and hopefully it inspires you. But my biggest suggestion would be to get the inspiration that you need, but then stop looking and just run with what you feel is beautiful.